Welcome to The Balancing Act, the podcast for mastering work, wealth and well-being, with me, your author and host, Sarah Brennand. Here we explore conversations, insights and expert advice through the lens of what truly drives high performance and sustainable success, aligning your money and mission, strengthening your mental and physical health, and creating a more intentional work-life balance. Each week, I'm joined by leaders, professionals and specialists who share how they navigate their own balancing act, along with practical tools and strategies that you can apply in yours. How long do you think you have to make a first impression? Well, according to my guest today, we only have 4 or 5 seconds. In this episode of Balancing Act, I'm joined by Cavaliere Diego Masciaga, one of the world's most respected figures in hospitality, for a fascinating conversation about service, leadership and human connection. We explore what has become known as the Diego Masciaga Way, why emotional intelligence sits at the heart of exceptional service, how to build teams that consistently deliver excellence, and why the greatest leaders understand that people may forget what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So, whether you work in hospitality or not, the lessons in this episode apply to anyone leading people, serving customers, or striving to create exceptional experiences. I do hope you enjoy the conversation. Welcome, Diego, and thank you so much for joining me today. Now, we're going to spend the course of this podcast talking predominantly about service excellence. It's something that you have masterfully created a career around delivering exceptional customer service excellence, but also training people, companies, teams across the world to be able to do the same. And I think it's something that is so important because how you would make me feel as a customer, that has an impact on my experience. It creates memories, and it's also the thing that, as a customer, draws you to go back, to buy again, to tell your friends, to recommend. So let's just start with, what's your philosophy around service and service excellence?
Well, my philosophy about service is one. Is to get pleasure yourself on pleasing someone else. And this is general. I mean, obviously, I believe that great service is when you don't see it, but you feel it, you know. Especially nowadays, time have changed, expectation have changed, guests have changed, the team have changed. So when people really goes to restaurants or to hotels or to shops, they go for the product. But actually what bring them back and what give them an experience, okay, is the product, but is how you make them feel. So that is my philosophy about excellent service. Is that honest smile, is that looking in your eyes, is that listening to you that very often people don't listen to you. And that what makes you live in that premises happier than when you went in. Excellent service is also, I was told, what is excellent service is not to give the guest what they pay for, but what they never dream of. So it's that little extra than you don't expect and you get, and it's free of charge. You don't have to pay for it. So for me, that is excellent service. Excellent service, obviously, you have to think of the technique as well. It cannot just be all a philosophical thing, but the technique needs to be there. The knowledge needs to be there as well. But that is something that you can learn on a book. You can learn on a stream nowadays, because it's very good for me to be there smiling, pleasant, but then not to have any knowledge on what I'm selling to you, on what I'm serving to you. So you need both. So this is really my philosophy about pleasing people and getting pleasure of myself on pleasing them. Yeah.
And is that something that you've always been passionate about? So in terms of how young were you, when you first started to become interested in the impact of service?
The reason why I went into hospitality when I was very young, I'm from a small village in Italy. I mean, none of my family are in hospitality, were in hospitality. It was a different reason. It was because I wanted to learn foreign languages. It's because I wanted to see the world. And I wanted actually already at that time to know the different cultures around the world. So that's why I said, well, it was the best option for me to go into hospitality. And it's only when I was in hospitality, I realized, but this is what I love, because I do love to please people. And fun enough, it was my mom who teach me that. Didn't even teach me. She was like that. I mean, we were from a very humble background. Whatever she used to give us for lunch, for dinner, or whatever, it was always with a great smile and with pleasure.
Yeah.
And so that is when I realized, yes, this is what I like to do. This is what I get pleasure on doing. Yeah.
And share with us some insight into your career trajectory and kind of where you started and the things that you're doing now.
Well, my career started obviously in hospitality, pure hospitality.
Yes.
Hospitality is not a very easy profession. Actually, it's a very difficult profession because you have to start from the bottom.
Yeah.
As I said, I wanted to learn foreign languages. So at that time, on the 70s, English was not an international language. And I remember my mom telling me, Diego, maybe you should go to France first if you want to go in hospitality, because English in the 70s was the language of pop star or the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. So it was not much with hospitality. So yes, I went to France.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go in a beautiful hotel to work as a waiter, as a young waiter. I didn't realize that I was too young for that place. And that was my work experience was not good enough for the guest.
Okay.
So I had a very, very unusual service to be in charge. And it was a service looking after pets, looking after dogs. I mean, so this hotel was a beautiful hotel and had a menu for the dogs. You know, white rice with French beans, with white meat, and so on, so on, so on. So I was in charge of that. And I remember telling my mom or my dad, I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing the dog service." And they said, "Why? You went to a catering school, and now you're there to do that." But anyway, cut it very short. I've learned so much out of those few months on that service.
Yeah.
Because feeding a pet was great, but what gave me pleasure was pleasing the owner of the pet.
Yeah.
And I remember going to, because it was room service, going to those rooms and always being so welcome, making feel welcome, because you see, he's coming to make my little pet happy.
Yes.
So that was my beginning. Then obviously was moved on the floor and so on. And then I had to learn a second language. And then I went to Germany for a little while. Did I learn much German? I don't think so. Huh? I did a bit, but there again, I was a bit young.
Yes.
And so obviously I was backstage there. I was, kitchen porter, they call it in those days. But it was a great experience because I learned something. Then I became, general manager, director, and so on. I remember that type of section of a restaurant or hotel. Then many people neglect. There's a person there washing plates and pots all day long. Very, very few people with that knowledge. And I learned how hard it all was. So that's why when I said one day I'm going to be a manager, I will look after my porter. Yeah. I will be. And then obviously I was lucky enough to get into those so-called famous 3 Michelin star restaurants. Yes. So I went to France, again, in a very famous 3 Michelin star called Alain Chapelle. Yeah. And again, after my first day, the chef, the owner, said to me, "Oh, Diego, I need to spend 2 days with you." I said, why? "I want to teach you how to walk." I said, "Well, I can walk.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to teach you how to walk in a dining room when there are people. I want to teach you how to read people, how to read the dining room, how to understand people." And so that was my first day. But then obviously things went on and on and on. I left that place. I And then obviously I was lucky enough, I came to the UK. I came to the UK. I was working for the Roux Brothers, and that was in 1983. Famous restaurants, obviously, the Gavroche in London. A wonderful experience with great, great people training me. After that, like many young people in those years, I wanted the taste of the US because America was America. So I was lucky enough to go to the US in the beautiful area called Santa Barbara. Great experience. And I've learned a lot there as well, because obviously different culture, different type of people, different area. And I've learned each time I've moved on, I've learned. After the US, I went back to France again because I needed a bit of France, but I went back with a managerial position. And then, then I was approached again by the Roux Brothers to join the famous Waterside Inn in Brennand. And I was there for 30 years, really. In between, I had an experience in Italy, in my own country, because I always wanted to go back to my own country, in a beautiful, again, a 3 Michelin star in Italy, Diego Masciaga Way, which I launched the restaurant and the hotel. And then obviously I progressed at the Waterside Inn up to the point that I was made company director, general manager, and so on and so on. And I reached the point, then I felt then I wanted to expand. I wanted actually to bring all my experiences to a wider audience. So in 2018, I set up my own company. Scary.
Yeah.
Scary because I was used to having a lot of people around me, and all I was doing was to give directions.
Yes.
And finally, I found myself just by myself. So I said, I need help. That's why my wife, Carrie, my daughter, Isabella, joined our company in a way. And now we're at the company for the past 7.5 years. And I'm very successful. But I believe that I've learned as much in the past 7 years than I did on my previous 40 years. Well, what I've learned, most of it, that hospitality is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just in a restaurant. It's not just in a hotel. Hospitality is everywhere, from a sandwich, buying a sandwich, to buying a mobile phone, to buy a car, or even to go to an institutional bank. And what I've learned a lot also, then I cannot do everything by myself.
Yeah.
I need people around me. So I always had people around me, but this time I was by myself. So I've learned also in a better way how to deal with people, how to deal with stuff, how to interact with them, how to trust them, and also how to empower them. So this in the past 7 years, as I said, I moved from airlines to mobile phone company to institutional bank to obviously hotels and restaurants, because I'm still very much linked in hotel and restaurants. But I have diversified a lot. And that's why I personally think that hospitality, I'm not saying service, but hospitality is actually, you can diversify so much, is everywhere. Because people sometimes talk about service. Was it a good service? Yes, the mechanic was very good, but not the hospitality side. Not. There are two different things.
So what's the difference? Or what is hospitality an extension of service? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hospitality actually is paramount
Mm.
when you stay in a hotel, when you go in a restaurant, when you go in a shop. The technique is very important. As I said earlier on, you have to know by heart
Yes.
the product that you sell, which could be wine, could be food, could be anything, could be a bedroom, could be a mobile phone, or whatever. And so that you have to know it by heart, because knowledge is very important. But that, you can learn that on a book.
Yeah.
You can learn that from a screen nowadays. And there is many ways of learning that. And it doesn't take long. What made that product to be very special, and what made those guests coming back to buy that product again, is the hospitality.
Yes.
Is how you make those people feel, is because very often is what they remember. You go in the restaurant, and maybe the steak is underdone or overdone or over salty or not salty. Those things can happen. But if the hospitality is not right, and the hospitality cannot repair that small mistake, you will not go back.
Yeah.
You see, is that feeling of reading people,
Yes.
understanding people. We call it the emotional intelligence,
Yes.
which is very difficult to explain.
Yes.
And it's that feeling of, for me, the one of the most important thing for me is to have a guest coming to me, maybe not in the best of the mood. It can happen. Traffic, problems, so on, so on. And then when that person leave with a big smile, I succeeded. I've succeeded because I made that person, I changed that person mood in a way.
Yeah.
And there is many little things, obviously, then, because you cannot do that all by yourself. And there is so many things then you have to keep account of it. I mean, it's your personality, it's your attitude, it's your smile, the genuine smile. The attitude, I said, positive attitude, negative attitude actually is very contagious.
Yeah.
Very contagious.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I've been through that, not myself, but at the same time, positive attitude is very, very contagious too. So if you arrive in a shop or in a restaurant and then you don't feel good, but you have someone there with a genuine smile, a right attitude, an happy attitude, you forget what is behind. And then obviously you have to read the people and know when to talk, how to talk, and so on, so on. I mean, there is a lot of things to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the positive attitude something that you, because there's an ongoing debate, I think, in HR about, do you recruit based on skill, based on attitude, based on future potential? What's your philosophy on that?
My philosophy years ago was on skills.
Yeah.
Mainly on skills. But I'm talking about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, the expectation from guests were a bit different as well. Restaurants and hotels used to be quite regimental, I would say. Very mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember working in places where I was not allowed to talk to the guest. Only the manager would talk to the guest, only the director would talk to the guest. Me as a little boy, not allowed. But time have changed. So when I used to recruit for technique, but now I do recruit on one thing, on personality, mainly the personality of the person, but also the communication, how people can communicate, and most of all is attitude. Is attitude. When people come, usually now you employ people, then they've done all that tick, but what they can do or what they cannot do. So really you got already something then they can do. But on the last meeting, when you meet really whoever is going to say yes or no, that person knows already then you can do all this.
Yes.
So you want someone that has got the right attitude, the right personality, but someone also who wants to grow. not someone who wants to be a lamb all his life.
Yes.
You want someone who wants to succeed, someone who is hungry of success. And that is what I'm looking for. So, yeah.
And you've mentioned a few things about right from your early days about this hunger for or natural instinct to want to learn.
Yes.
How do you encourage that in the people that you've worked with?
Well, I very much encourage them, showing them my example. I'm 62. I love to work with young people because I learn every day. So that is what I say. Look, 62, but I learn from you every day.
Yeah.
So encourage them. I encourage them to learn not only about what they sell, not only about where they work, but it's so important that people in hospitality also have a broader
Yes.
knowledge. It could be geography, it could be history, it could be, let's not go in politics and all those things, but let's stay on subjects which are very interesting for guests to listen.
Yeah.
So always encourage them. Read newspaper, read magazine, read books. I always used to do that. Not just the politics, but also sometimes the gossip. Because sometimes you have to know about what's happening around the world. Because sometimes if you talking with guests who maybe they feel a bit down, they feel a bit under pressure because of the economy, last thing you want to talk is about the budget, in a way, or the economy. You want to talk about something that make them forget all that and bring them to something. So it is, I'm very, very pro training people to learn a lot, not just about their work, but about also the general knowledge. It is very important. And I remember when I went to school, my catering school in Italy, we had to learn all that. You had to learn maths, hygiene. And I said, oh, all I want to be a great maître d'.
Yes.
Why do I have to learn all this as well? And on those years, I didn't realize how important it was.
Yeah.
But I realized afterwards that all those subjects are as important, if not more, than the actual subject that you sell.
So that's that connection, I suppose, isn't it? You mentioned about one of the skills is to be able to listen to people.
Yeah.
And I guess having that knowledge enables you to find a common ground at which you can quickly connect with them.
Exactly right. When you listen to people, obviously sometimes you cannot be opinionated. I don't believe in people opinionated, if, say, the guests talk about, the Caribbean Sea is beautiful, it's blue, it's no seaweed. If me, I say, oh yeah, I was there last week, but it was full of weed, said,
You ruined it.
that you ruin it. You ruin the whole thing, So that's why you have to listen to people.
Yeah.
As you said, connect to people and make them think then no, but agree with what they say, because at the end of the day, it's hospitality. We're there to please. We're not there to have a debate about politics, So that's it's so important, so important.
And how do you do that so quickly? You mentioned about being taught to read a room, but I know you teach other people these things. How do you pick up on cues quickly to know when to come in and host or leave them alone, or can how do you do that if it's something you can explain?
Very often, obviously, if you're in retail or in hospitality, when you see the guest arriving, usually you have 4 to 5 seconds. He has to be very fast to understand that guest, not to understand if the guest is going to spend £1,000 or £2,000. That comes later, but to understand the mood or the how that guest feel. You can see, but you have to look at the guest. Looking at the guest in his eyes, the way you say hello or good morning or good afternoon has to be genuine, has to be spontaneous. And if you get the answer back the same way, you say, oh, well, I can, it's okay, it's okay. So what you do, obviously, you read your guests when they arrive. You understand if they just maybe had a discussion in the car, or maybe they got lost, or they come all stressed. So last thing you want, if a guest comes, then he's all stressed because he's half an hour later than because he got lost. Last thing you want, you go and talk to that guest for too long. All you say, hello, how are you? Da-da-da. And then after maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, you go and see them. Because last thing you want is those people, those guests to be, you know, they already come from an area, they're under pressure, and last thing you want is a person keep talking to them. So you leave them alone. And that is what I teach, obviously, people who are on the front line, you know. It's very much this, again, this emotional intelligence of understanding the state of mind of people, you know. And can you teach that? Maybe you cannot teach that 100% because it's something very difficult, huh? But you can teach how to approach people, how to read people, how to understand people. And then once you know that, subsequently change also your mood. You have to change yourself. You cannot be a mechanical person. You have to change yourself and follow your guest.
And I guess that's being curious, isn't it, about people and giving them attention, which is a nice thing to do. You know, it's nice that when somebody does,
you make them feel special. You make them feel unique. You know, even guests you see, for example, then you never seen before. They're not regular in the hotel. They're not regular in the restaurant. You make them feel special. You make them feel then they like they own a piece of that place. You know, you have to be careful, obviously, because you have to give everyone exactly the same size red carpet. Because, you know, in many places, if you are well known, everyone comes to you. But if you come there the first time, no one talks to you. So you feel, but it's making them feel, wow, we're special, especially if they come with the partner, with the wife, with the husband, with guests. You make them feel, wow, $1 million in a way, without obviously talking too much. Because if you overdo it, then it becomes something that you do by routine. You know, if you keep overdoing it, then it's not right either. Then it becomes, you know, it's too much. And when it's too much, I always say service, excellent service, is when it's just good enough. Too much is bad. No, too much is bad, and not enough is bad either. So there is a middle way.
It's like live theatre, isn't it? But unscripted. You know, and I suppose that consistency across, because you could do it, but then the person, you know, the other people in the restaurant or, you know, in the shop or the airlines, the level of hospitality and warmth that you give needs to be repeatable.
It has to be repeatable
across the whole team, but then across every customer.
Exactly the same. It has to be repeatable. Everyone, you know, everyone has to feel then that is important as the other one. I mean, in many occasions, it happened to me. Obviously, I've been lucky enough in my life because of whatever I was doing to deal with head of state, to deal with most of the royalty in the world. I did it personally. I did it through business as well. And when people ask me, "Oh, what is a guest that you will remember forever?" Funny enough, okay, fine. Those people, those type of people, for sure, I remember them. But what gives me the great pleasure? The great pleasure is when I had maybe a guest that I know that is been saving for months to have a very, very special occasion for a special birthday, special occasion, and so on, so on. And I could feel then that guest was a bit nervous because of the cost, because of the environment. And it's to make that guest feeling comfortable. So going at the same level than the guest. You have to go, not feel, because he doesn't have a brand suit and so on. Oh no, it's not. This guest is not going to spend any money. No, to make that guest feeling at the same level than the other, make them feel special. And when they leave, they forget about the gold, the silver, and so on. All they remember is how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And that for me was the greatest satisfaction. I mean, when I train now in hotels and restaurants and other places, I said, the best compliment that you could get is when a guest leave and say, not then give you whatever tips, is when they say goodbye by name. And that for me is the best compliment that you could get, because that guest remember your name, remember how you made them feel, and if they come back, which they will ask for your name.
Yes.
So it's a circle, because at the end of the day, hospitality, like many other, is a business.
Yes.
And a business need to be profitable to be a business. Otherwise, don't have a business. You see, there is a lot of areas that you can bring guests through the door with different tools, with so many different tools, loyalty tools and so on, which are great. You need them. But those tools only do half of the job. The rest is the human being, is us, who has to bring those people back, because those people will go back because of people. Yeah.
And is there a way that you can track that from a return on investment perspective? Is that something that is out there in the sector or in different industries? Do people talk about the return on investment on that human capital and that emotional intelligence, on having the right people, as well as the systems and processes?
I'm honest, up to, call it before COVID, no. No. There was only, people used to go to restaurants, hotels, only because of the room, or this and that and that. But as I said, time have changed.
Yeah.
These things that happened 5-6 years ago changed our mind completely. So nowadays, yes, businesses do invest on that, because they understand that technology can only bring up to a point.
Yes.
And they know then it's the human touch that will bring those people back. But then at the same time, technology and human being, they should work together, because technology is paramount.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have tools where we can, you say, for example, in a hotel, Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, she's been 4 times, this room, that room, no water, sparkling water, and so on, so on, so on. Those are all great information about those people, where the human being should know about it and work around those.
Yeah.
So that's why for us, for the human being, it is important to follow the technology.
Yeah.
But then obviously that technology is not sufficient to give those guests the full experience. Yeah. The full experience is only done by a human being. We nowadays in hotels and restaurants, we talk a lot about the journey. The famous, I mean, when I heard this word first, the journey, what is a journey? The journey, and journey is going for a walk. And people many times ask me, where the journey starts? For myself, the journey starts actually with the technology. The journey starts with looking at the website. Yeah. If the website is exciting, is show everything that I need to know, the picture I write and so on, that already is a great start of the journey. Yeah. The journey then follow with either the phone call or the email and so on. And even an email. I mean, I see places, those standard emails that you get, so they send my name, try to be a bit personal. Yeah. Doesn't cost anything. And that will make you feel even better. So wow, they know that it's us, they know that we have a dog, they know that that is the second step. Yeah. And whoever write that email and whoever answer the phone, okay, answering a phone is an art. You have to know how to answer a phone, because you have to bring that those emotions from your voice or from your tone of voice, even if you don't see the person, those emotions need to go maybe 10,000 miles away. And that guest will have a picture of the place where they're going to go. And then obviously that the technology, and then you get to the hotel, you get to the restaurant. People say to me, oh, it's only when he comes in, when the guests come in through the door. Yes, fine, but that already is the second step. There is another step, how you present your property outside the door, how the doorman, the security, and those people, how they're presented, how they welcome you. You know, that is already another step. Once they are inside, it's already more or less halfway, you know, of the journey. Then, obviously, is whoever is there, make them feel special, knows all about what are their needs, because obviously we have, we've got all the information about technology, and then so on, so on. Then once they're sitting down, it's already a good halfway to the journey. But what many people forget sometimes is the end of the journey. In many places, you could go and have a beautiful dinner, a beautiful stay. You buy a beautiful diamond ring, I say, and once you paid, the journey is finished. Because they say, okay, they pay the bill, they pay for the goods they bought, goodbye. Well, that is not the end of the journey. The end of the journey is when the guest is back in the car, in the taxi, the driver is there waiting, and so on and so on. I mean, is saying goodbye, opening the door, looking forward to seeing you again, and so on and so on. I mean, it happened to me in a few occasions when I called for a taxi, for a car, and I went to open the door of the taxi because the driver didn't come out. And I looked inside the taxi and it was dirty. And you know what I did? I closed the door. I said to the guest, you mind to come in? Offer you half a glass of champagne and I'm going to call you another taxi. Those guests will remember that touch. Forget the dirty taxi, but will remember that touch. Could have been me, but could have been a receptionist, or could have been someone else. So because the journey is not finished when you pay. And any journey in any, nowadays I know they do it in many hotels or restaurants, shops, you got a feedback. Feedback. But very often the feedback in some areas is done by percentages, 10 out of 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, which I agree and I disagree sometimes. Because sometimes if you go to a luxurious place, for example, you cannot really judge a luxurious place by percentages because there's so many little areas. But that is this famous journey. There is a follow-up. I mean, if you're looking at business, there is the follow-up because you want those guests to come back. And then those guests to be part of a guest list. Then they got maybe private. I mean, they do it in an airline and so on. We know the silver, the bronze, the gold. And you need that if you want people to come back because it is nothing worse than going in a hotel or in a restaurant than are empty, because there is no atmosphere, there is nothing happen.
There we go. So on the journey, I think a lot of what you said there is really important because a lot of it, as you say, you think, okay, that makes sense. But actually, as a business owner or leader or manager in any sector, to look at the whole journey as a customer journey rather than a marketing funnel, which is a lot of people think, oh, how can we push them further through the funnel? Actually look at it from the human side and think, how can we humanize each of those elements as well? And even as you're saying, right up to the feedback, I can think of many times now where people have said, oh, there's just press the red to cross it off, it doesn't matter, you don't just do that. Or so actually, if you're going to ask for feedback, do it in the right way.
In the right way.
Use
the right
Yes.
wording, the right
Yeah.
vocabulary in a
Yeah.
way, dictionary.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. You
Yeah.
have to, because how can you have a feedback on or the steak, instead of taking 7 minutes to be served, it was served after 9 minutes. So I give you only 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
But then there is not the fact that when that steak was served,
Yes.
it was served with a great smile. It was served in a way that, wow, I'm the only one to have this steak. It's like, for example, you go to a shop to buy something, and that item is not on display, and the person that sells the item maybe spend 20 minutes to go and try to find it. And if you get the feedback, oh, was the service fast and efficient? No, I waited 20 minutes for my new pen.
Yes.
But then it's not written, but that person then send you the new pen, spend 20 minutes to try to go and find it, so that doesn't say that. So it is sometimes very, those feedback, they're great. I believe on that, because you need feedback, because people say to me, oh, Diego, do you agree with all this, let's say name TripAdvisor and so on?
Yes.
At the beginning, years ago, I'm very honest, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it, because why people come here? Why they cannot tell me straight away? No? But then more and more, I read them. I don't read only the bad one. I don't read only the good one. I put them together. If, say, for example, I have a comment, then the lighting in the bathroom is wrong. If I got 6 comments like that, I said, something is wrong with the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I have to address it.
Yes.
Because I cannot be like some restaurateur, hotelier. Years ago, they thought whatever I do is perfect. No, we have to remember that at the end of the day, in hospitality, we're here for the guest.
Yes.
The guests, they're not there for us. And that is very often in some establishment, you feel privileged to be in that establishment.
Yes.
No, I'm privileged to have you in my establishment, because without you, I have no business.
Yeah.
It is. And so this is my belief. Then those comments, sometime or very often, you have to read them.
Yeah.
You have to read them, but read them all and put them all in a bag.
Yeah.
And then take the good out of it.
Yes.
And say maybe they're not good, leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the journey, but I remember something you said, we've met previously, about something that you've personally have done, and that's about how you've ensured that you've walked that customer journey. So entered, the business as you would a customer, looking around it, and, right from, are there leaves that need sweeping?
Yeah.
Are there, just the decor, are people there? And I think that's a really nice reminder, actually, because it's quite often people can be so caught up in their own business that they forget to just walk the customer journey. From the simple things.
You're right. A journey, as we said, especially if you are in a resort, it's not just the beautiful swimming pool and the great balcony and the beautiful penthouse suite. It's everything. Is areas where you think the guests might never get to.
Yeah.
And that you have to check. When I used to go to work, not just, even now, I never go in from the same door. Or I never go in from the front door anyway. I always go in from a staff door or a fire exit door and like that. But that is not to catch the staff, maybe with a mobile phone or with a cigarette. No, it's to see how would a guest, by mistake, use that door to see what it is. Because it's very nice for a beautiful penthouse suite, but then in the kitchen or in a corner outside, it's full of leaves, dirty and so on. So you have to see is the full areas. I mean, I always say what is important, especially in a resort, more important is the perimeter outside. It's as important as the beautiful green garden inside. You know, it's just normal. It's just because if the perimeter outside is dirty, what is it going to be inside?
Yes.
You know, on a hidden area.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
So a lot of the success in hospitality is having the ability to listen, look, watch, and then match your communication,
Yes.
your emotions with the customer and take them on a journey. How do you maintain the energy for that
Yeah.
day after day? Because I can imagine many people, myself included, thinking, "Yeah, okay, I can do that for a certain amount of time and then I'm going to need a rest, or I'm going to need some downtime, or to just go into a room on my own and not speak to somebody for a little while." How have you managed to build a
Well,
career
I'm a manager.
where, or, have you
Yeah.
ever had a bad day, and how do you disguise it, or
No.
how do you
Well, when you are in hospitality, we
Yes.
have to say, it's like once the doors are open,
Yes.
it's the stage. You are on stage. At the end of the day, you are on stage. People look at you.
Yeah.
People see not just your body, but also can read your mind,
Yes.
can read how you feel. I mean, how many times I've been to restaurants where I see the waiter
Yeah.
running. I said, oh God, I'm never going to have dinner here tonight. It's going to take me 3 hours to get my stuff there. You know, you get that straight away. So what you do, first of all, you have to be a leader. A leader means leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
When you are a leader, at the end of the day, you are a servant to your staff, to your guest, and to your owner. Because at the end of the day, you're there to lead, but also to give.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important as well to empower your team. It's so important to empower your team. It's not, and give them and praise them sometime. You know, you have to praise them sometime, but not praise them as a group of 20 or 30 or 50, but have 30 seconds with that person or that person just face to face.
Yeah.
That 30 seconds is more valuable than a lot of money, people.
Yeah.
People in hospitality sometimes they think, oh yes, we're only here to, well, we run all day, we get told off all day, we don't do anything right, what a horrible job. And actually, it's not an horrible job. So hospitality is a wonderful profession. The problem sometimes is some leaders, they don't lead by example.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to lead their team. I mean, it happened to me many times to see the team, maybe one member of the team, maybe a bit down, problem. We all have problem outside the place. And just sit with that person face to face, but not talking to that person, not as a manager to a junior. No, talking to that person, human to human. And explain to them, or him or her, then also I went through all that, and try to motivate them, bring them back the smile and say, oh, wow, it was only, they will go home and maybe they tell their mom and dad, guess what, today, Diego sat with me for 2 minutes and for them it's more than £100, it means so much. And I know that person will be back tomorrow.
Yes.
With a great smile and happy and wanted to do more and wanted to be a little Diego.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I cannot do it all by myself. Leader cannot do it all. You need everyone.
Yeah.
From, if you manage a big operation, from housekeeper to reception to security to maintenance to waiters to chefs. And you cannot say, I'm the hero, I can do everything. Otherwise, you're going to be in prison. You're going to be a prisoner of that place. So you have to delegate, to know how to delegate. It's very important to know how to choose your team as well when you recruit them, and to know how far you can push them. And that is important because sometimes if you don't know them personally, you don't know how far you can push that person or how far what you can get out of that person. We all human beings. We're not perfect, or far to be perfect, but wherever I worked, sometimes people only picked on me on my negative bit. But I never told me about my positive thing. It's to, when you speak to people, is to try to get that positive area, use them, and leave the negative aside. So when you know your team personally, then you can start to empower them, give them a bit of freedom, still control, but allow them to be who they are. And then you will have successful people. You will have a successful business, because the time of the army, the regiment, the general in the restaurant, in the hotel, the general manager, wow, the general manager arrived, everyone is scared. No, you shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't have fear of your boss. If you are fearful of your boss, it's because there is a problem. Is either the boss problem, the way he leads, or is your problem, then you've done something wrong. It's one of the two. But if you fear, it's because what you have to have is respect of your leader. But then the leader at the same time has to respect you first. Otherwise, how can you gain respect if you don't respect the person? I mean, many people say to you, "Oh, Diego, but how would you gain respect from those people?" I say, well, it's only one way. You respect them first, and then you'll get that back. If you don't get that back, sometimes you have to take, I've been taking many times drastic decision, because obviously you have to in a business. A business at the end of the day, if I run a business, I have to run a business, I have to run a team, I have to run a hotel, I have to run but at the end of the day, I have to give my result to the boss. And at the end of the day, I cannot tell the boss then, oh yeah, but I cannot get the respect from my team, because I get paid for that. I get paid to run the business. So the boss doesn't want to know that. The boss wants to have the good news, and I cannot bring those things to him. So, and if you train your team with the mentality of doing the best they can, then you will achieve that. If you train the team of just being there, is a routine, another day, you never get to that. That's why I say to people, don't be 100%. 100%, everyone will tell you, be 100%, you'll be great. No, be 101%, you'll be the number one. Otherwise, 100%, you'll be good. But you won't be the number one.
And a lot of what you've talked about, I think, is exactly what you've done. It's developing others, it's looking after other people, it's giving them exceptional experiences. How do you look after yourself? What are the things that you do to ensure that you can maintain this level of repeatable high performance?
I'm honest. I mean, we are all going through life. Life doesn't bring just roses and flower. I mean, life can bring spines sometimes, hard time. I mean, I've been married 37 years. I've got 2 daughters. I've never seen my children when they were born, and so on and so on. But then I'm not complaining. How do you do that? It's all very much in your mind. I think it's all to do with your mind, because I personally think when you are a bit tired physically, a good night's sleep, then you wake up, you feel better. But when you're tired mentally, that thing is there always time. So it's try to work on people's mind. I'm a great believer now, I don't say maybe 30 years ago, but now, on the well-being of my team. The 16 hours a day, the 14 hours a day, every day, I've done it. I'm still alive. But if someone asks me now, would you do it again, Diego? I'm not so sure. I don't think so. No, because there is more in life than the 16 hours a day working. And also, if you work 16 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, you become a machine, you become a robot. You lose the sparkle. You lose the feeling good. You lose also the fact that then you just work and sleep, and your mind doesn't work anymore. It's only focused on one thing. And I remember someone said to me, Diego, the best thing is to have the peace of mind. When your mind is at peace, is when you can perform the best. When problems are not problem, issues are not issues. Everything is a solution, and everything can be done. But if your mind is not at peace, and you got the negative attitude, one problem becomes 5 problems. One issue becomes 5 issues, and you don't solve any of them. Because your mind is not there. So I train my mind. I train my mind a lot, and I'm very honest. It's not a trick. When I had difficult time, I went through very difficult time, and I'm not hiding it, but I never show it. I never show it to anyone. But in difficult moment, especially when you are in contact with people and you don't want guests to notice that, I used to switch my mind, believe it or not, into my family, into my 2 daughters, my wife, and my mom and dad. And when my mind went there, maybe just for 30 seconds or 10 seconds, no, I just said, well, at the end of the day, it's work, I have to deal with it. So my attitude changed completely. The real honest smile came out again. And there was okay. I got plenty problem, I got plenty issue, I deal with them. But that is what I used to do. I used to switch. I was blessed, obviously, I would say. And my wife has always been next to me. I mean, not next to me physically, but next to me when I was working. Because I know on those years, as I said, 14 hours a day, or whatever, 6 days a week, or not just in England, all over the world, for some time, for your other half or family, it's very difficult. But what you have to do, I think, is so important. And when is your time off? When is your day off? When is your half a day off? When is your whatever time off? That time off need to be very precious. It's for your family. And you have to try to switch off completely from your working life and have pleasure time. Pleasure time could be going to see, I don't know, in a farm, going to see the animals, or going fishing with the children, or going out for dinner with your wife. But if you cannot do that, if everything is based on work, then it's very difficult to have a balance. There is no more balance. It's work. And then that then is reflected on your performance.
How has your balance changed, kind of consciously or not, when you moved into setting up your own business? Because you talked about suddenly you don't have people around you, but you do have your family, which sounds like they're your emotional anchor, but they're also your business support. But then you're managing multiple projects now, aren't you, and travel, and you run the business and you own the business. How has balance changed, or how do you consciously approach it now?
Well, it's changed drastically. It's changed drastically. And I'm honest, at the beginning, as I said to you, I'm by myself. I got no one else. I got people calling me from Los Angeles. They call me at 9 o'clock in the evening, 10 o'clock. I got some people calling me from the Caribbean. It's again 9 o'clock in the evening. It's all day long, really. But at the end of the day, it's my business. It's my business. So I have to, if you work for someone else, when you go home, that's it. It's done. Or I'm done. When it's your own business, obviously you have to think, well, I do it because it's my business. But I've been able to select some days, like before I was full time. Now, I got my bit, where those days or those hours are for my family. And obviously, I got more freedom now than I had before, even if I fly around the world all the time. And I do all different sorts of things. One day maybe start from, I don't know, consulting in an airline, for an airline. The day after, I'm lecturing in a university. So 2 different things altogether. But I have been able to do that because also of my peace of mind at the moment, and my attitude. I'm always very positive. And I try at home as much as I can, never to bring any negative into my house. So everything is out of the door. And when I go in, maybe I'm a good actor, who knows? Huh? And I can, but it does work. But it's a big change. It is a big change because when you got your own business, well, is you need to perform because no one else do it for you, and when you have your own business, if you don't perform, you don't earn money. It's as easy as that. So it is now. Yes, now it's 7 days a week. I'm not saying I'm not working 24 hours a day.
Yes.
But I'm on the go. Sometime 7 days a week and maybe 16 hours a day. But it's not continuous. I can break. I can break. Yeah. But it's very rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
It is, for me, it's been very rewarding to have my own business. First of all, it's because the business has been successful and is successful. And second, I realize that I'm not good only for luxurious establishment, but I'm also good for other establishment that are not as luxurious. Because sometimes if Diego is working 5-star in 3 stars and this and that and that. But Diego also can work in a small pub, can work also in a small hotel, can also work in a shop, or in a school teaching, for example. So I get a lot of satisfaction there, and that satisfaction really bring me to do even more because I love it. Yeah.
Yes. And in the type of projects that you're doing, so if a company wanted you to go in and work with them, is that normally as a training session? Is it consultative?
Yeah.
What different modes do
you... Fine enough, I don't like very much, and I tell all my contracts. I don't want to be called a consultant. Because maybe this is my thing, when you employ a consultant, it's because something is not going that well in that company.
Yeah.
So what they have to do, they have to get a consultant in to try to sort things out.
Yes.
So I always say I'm an advisor.
Yeah.
So advisor, I use an advisor. Yes. And usually when I advise, obviously the first thing to do, obviously you go there, you assess the place. Obviously, is everything in the place. It's from the interior design to the lighting to the music to the food to the bedroom and everything.
Yes.
And then you think, okay, what can I do to improve this? And 99% I start from the staff, from the people.
Yeah.
And usually I sit them down all together, and I give them a little brief. And then I see them all individually to get what I was saying around. How can I get from you? Where would I see you better? This and that and that. So that is where I start. And then also, I'm very honest, I like to lead by example. If I'm a leader there, if I have to be there a week or 2 days or 3 days, I'm not there in an office. Okay, looking at the spreadsheets, I have to see the spreadsheet, I see the numbers. So, but if I see the number I'm not good, I have to act on it. But it's not on sitting there, then I'm going to be a result, because those numbers won't change. Those numbers come from somewhere else. So I have to tackle the area where the numbers are not right. So I spend time in housekeeping. I mean, housekeeping, many of the people say, housekeeping, why? In many hotels you go, the housekeepers team, very often they look a bit down, a bit depressed. Because housekeeping is not a glamorous job to be in, I'm very honest. But that is not the thing. It's because the people who work on those floors, hotels or anything, no one talks to them. They don't see the guest. They don't get thanks from the guest. They don't get thanks from the management. They're just a commodity. They're just there. And all they do, they clean all day. Clean. Isn't it nice when you leave a bedroom in a hotel and the housekeeper is there and stop and say, good morning, sir. How are you? Did you sleep well? How's your children? And then just have not a minute, because time is money, but 10 seconds to ask a question, how is your children? And the guest will say, oh, are you married? Do you have children? Do you have family? Do you have and you build that relation.
Yeah.
And that's what I do very often with all housekeeping team. I want them to interact as well with the guest. And me also as a advisor, I walk the floors and spend time with them to make them feel that they're special. Because at the end of the day, if you go in a room, it could be the best room, whatever cost it is. When you go in a room, especially on those prices, what is the importance of the room? It's not so much the interior design is important, but it's to feel that no one was there the night before. And you are the first to use that bed. And you are the first to go in that bathroom. If you see any signs, then someone was there the night before, or in that bathroom the night before, or on that coffee table the night before, you say, it's something that it doesn't mean, even in a hotel, then it's not 5-star, even in a normal hotel. If you go in a normal hotel and you feel that no one was there the night before, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So that is all thanks to the housekeeping.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to them. And so that's why I'm always pro. And when you do that in hotels or restaurants, then you bring the team to respect you. You bring the team, then they understand that you're not there just to pick the negative.
Yes.
And that's what I do. I'm not there to pick the negative. The negative, I pick it, I keep it for me. I don't show it. And then obviously, sometimes you have to, but I keep it for me, the negative. But on keep it, I don't keep it and keep it forever. I keep it and then I bring it to them little by little.
Yes.
Because if I go as an advisor and I see then the dining room, the service is very bad, and I see with the restaurant manager and tell him, look, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. How am I going to have that restaurant manager having respect of me or trusting me? I'm going to lose him. So you have to do it tactically. You have to praise them first for what they do well.
Yes.
And then maybe you've done well, but maybe this we can change. So at least you get the balance. The balance, yeah.
And I think everything that you talk about there, in terms of the people that you work with, the layers and the levels and the departments within the business, it's all leading towards sales and repeatable business, isn't it?
Yes.
On the cold front of it, everything around hospitality is about humanizing the experience to lead to, and I think that's I think sales as a term can quite often be a cold term. It's a process. But actually those things that you say that feel really normal and natural when you're the guest, that's the thing.
That's the thing. It's like, I got somewhere an advice and they asked me, oh, Diego, can you train the staff how to upsell? Upselling. What I mean upselling? Can you ask them to sell an extra salad, an extra soup?
Yes.
I said, there is an art to do that. You cannot, it's not, you should go take an order, say in a restaurant. Oh, would you like some veg? Would you like a salad? I know that as a guest, this one he wants to sell me another salad because it's £5 or £10 or whatever. Yeah. But there is an art to do that. There is and this comes to the person, then take the order. Again, to read that guest.
Yes.
And say, well, then there is no salad with it. But you read that guest and said, oh, you whatever you've chosen is excellent, superb. And then you leave that really to the end. Oh, by the way, would you like something to share? You don't say, would you like one just for you? Would you like something to share? So they know, well, if you share 2 between 5, at the end of the day, the guests think, oh, well, he's trying not to upsell.
Yes.
But he's trying to please us.
Yes.
And this is where he has to go.
Yeah.
He's not there to try to upsell his salad, but he's trying to please us so that we have a better dinner.
Yeah.
And that I train on that, and it works. It does work. It does work because I've done it in many many operation, and when I see the results, I said, "Oh wow, look at that! Oh, look at that! Look at that!" You know, is say for example, they have a table of 4,
Yeah.
and they ask you for 4 glasses of champagne. And you know, the 4 glasses of champagne is, I don't know, £20 a glass. I just say number is £100. I say 4 of you. Oh, look, I can now organize for you a bottle of this champagne, which obviously maybe is a bit cheaper or the same price. And I know from a bottle you get 5 glasses. People know that.
Yes.
And people will take it.
Yeah.
Instead of in 4, you know, than you want. So
Yeah.
it's the way, but then you have to read the guest.
Yeah.
Because some guests don't like, they know what they want.
Yeah.
And they don't want to change.
Yeah.
But if you see a guest and maybe it's the first time that it's there and you want to impress, you want to, you just do it. It's like suggesting a wine, and that I'm having sometime, I'm very firm on this. So there is things that I'm quite firm on it. There is another Diego. The Diego doesn't smile a lot, but obviously I'm very firm. There is another Diego. Someone told me one day, "Oh, Mr. Diego, you know, you're quite special. You know, you're the type of person that could make some people cry with a smile." I said, "Oh, well, no, I'm not." But going back to the wine, I mean, you go to restaurants and you allow the wine waiter or the waiter to choose your wine, and I ask for a suggestion. And I always say to the team, never go for something. You don't need even to read the guest there. Even if you see the guest and he's got this watch that is worth £100,000, not because it's got a watch of £100,000, you're going to suggest a bottle of £1,000 or £500. No, wrong. Go with something, not the bottom, because if you go for the bottom, you think, oh, they try to send me the bad one, you know, to get rid of it. But go with something very, very small in between.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell you, the guest might go, "Yeah, great, that's good. I go for something in between on the bottom part."
Yes.
And then I can tell you, the guest will appreciate that.
Yeah.
And when he comes back, because he will come back, he might not have that bottle again, but he will have the bottle of £500 because he knows he gained your trust. He trusts you. He trusts you. You were not there to try to push in something very expensive, but you were there to push in something quite cheap.
Yes.
So he knows, or cheap, or not overpriced. He knows that. But he can afford also £1,000 bottle.
Yeah.
But when he comes back, he will order maybe the £1,000 bottle, you know, so because he gained that trust.
That's like a long game. That's having patience, isn't it? With
Yes.
with the process.
Yes.
And being able to kind of wait and develop the trust, which it's really hard to gain trust instantly, isn't it? It does take effort, actually.
You know, Sarah, I have guessed then even myself. It took me maybe after maybe 5 or 6 times I saw them. They start to trust me. At the beginning, I felt that distance. Fine, you were a guest. Well, but then when they start to trust me, I know many of them, they never asked me which room am I going to be, because they knew which room I was going to put them. Which wine am I going to drink? Diego, just choose the wine. Diego, choose the menu. Just Diego, do that.
Yeah.
I know guests that never seen the menu. They don't even know the menu. They don't even know the better because they gain that trust.
Yeah.
But also they know that you are not there to try to overtake, because I always tell people, remember the boundary.
Yeah.
The boundary is very important. I mean, you could have guests coming there every day of the week, whatever you work, and you become quite friendly with that person. But as a team member, as a staff, you have to remember the boundary, because that guest is a guest and you are not a guest. And also remember the boundary when eventually you progress in your position, you know, from a junior, you become a mid-senior and then a senior. There again, you need to have some boundary with the rest of the team. It's not because you don't like them, but, you know, when you go up, there is at a level that you have to say, okay, you know, I cannot, like, you could not go out and have a big party with all your team and drink and have fun. Not that you can go to the party for sure, but you have to remember that the day after, when you go back to work, if those members of team maybe they don't perform, you have to tell them off. And the same for guests. Guests for me, always guests. Even if I see them 5 times a week, even if I see them every day, is always a guest. A guest will never become Paul, will never become Maria, will never become John. Is always Mr. Paul, Mrs. Maria, because that guest tomorrow he could come with for a very special business meeting. And there it is, me as I have no boundary. Oh, Paul, how are you? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So the boundary are very important.
So just to finish off, first of all, what would be, I think, in terms of hospitality, service excellence, repeatable, but there is so much in what we've spoken about today, particularly from that emotional intelligence, understanding, connection with people. If somebody hasn't done much work in that area, what would be your main tips, the things to just start work on to start bridging that gap?
The main thing that I would ask that person is to serve me. I'll be the guest. And whenever this person take my order or take my phone call or does something to me, so to make him comfortable, then he only does it to me. And then I will then say, look, you've done this way, I should do this way. The second thing I would say to them, obviously, first of all, is to make them happy. Because if you don't have happy team, you have actually start from the boss. No happy boss, no happy team, no happy guest, no happy till, no happy till. So no happy boss. So you have to make them feel happy on whatever they do, on whatever position they have. You also, is very important, to give them opportunity to grow, because doesn't mean that if you are there as a junior waiter, you're going to be there junior waiter forever. You can grow. So if you give them a light to look at it and a goal to reach, then the attitude will change, because they will say, one day I'll be little Diego, one day I'll be Diego. And you have to do that. So it's to also work on their mind. Then what they do, it is very important. Just maybe to serve a glass of water is so important. Serve just a piece of bread is so important. Selling a sandwich. I could sell a sandwich. Where is my sandwich? I could sell a sandwich with a big smile and say, have a lovely day. That guest will go back and have the sandwich tomorrow. Even if it's 50p more expensive than the other one. So if you train the people in their mind to get pleasure, to be happy, to help someone else, to serve someone else, then they will follow you. It happened to me in occasion. Then staff maybe sometimes team stay a bit too long, maybe 2, 5, 10, 15 years. I mean, don't talk to me about 30 years, but they come too long. And sometimes if you do the same job for too long, you lose the sparkle. You lose that mind. I want to do better, because there is no hopefully no position for you to move on. So I used to say, well, this person's given me 2 years of his life or her life. How am I gonna tell this person? And I used to do something, and I still do it. I say, if I say, look, first of all, I'm gonna call a few of my friends around the world, because I was lucky enough to have people. Then they've been very, very successful in hospitality around the world. I trained them, and I tried to find a very good, exciting job without telling the person. Exciting job, an area where they can grow with a better position, better paid, and more scope for future. So I get that, and then I sit with the person. And I used to say, oh, look, you've been here 3 years, you're great, you've done so well. got something for you very special. You know, this, and this. That person, first of all, couldn't believe it because he can grow. He can
Yes.
grow.
Yeah.
Second, will always say thank you to me, and he's happy to move on.
Mm.
I replaced that person with another person, with a sparkle, with wanted to grow. And at the same time, I gain on my network. My network gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So really, everyone is a winner. Everyone is a winner. The company, the person, the other company, because the other company will get a very good element.
Yes.
And everyone is happy.
Yeah.
So I've done that with many, and believe it or not, I have nowadays. I'm very proud actually. Then there is so many. They're not young anymore, but they're all mature now. They're all done so well, so well. I'm a managing director of big groups, or vice presidents of big hotel company, and so on, so on. And each time they keep writing to me a lot, but actually they don't ask me technical advice, but they always ask me for personal advice, more how to approach this, how to approach that, because I think at the end they knew then what I did. You know, they realized that that's what is done, but they do the same.
Yeah.
They do the same, and so my network has grown a lot, and very often I tell them I get so much pleasure when the pupil beat the master, and that is true. I do get a lot of pleasure when someone that has worked for me and I train from the beginning, not just on the technical training, but also on all the other aspects, do so well. And I tell them, look, they call me, oh, Diego, you are the maestro. No, you are the pupil, then beat the maestro. And I get pleasure with it. But then you have to be a bit, in life, in any profession, you need to be angry of success, not angry of being angry of success, because you need a bit of that. You need that. You need ambition as well. You need consistency, commitment, and determination as well, because it doesn't all come just with the philosophy. That's great, but you need also people who really want. People need to have a goal. I want to be like her. I want to be like him one day. So to get to that, it doesn't just come with a state of mind. That is a great help. But next to that, you need all those, determination, hard work, commitment, the consistency. You need all that as well. And I think in any business, not just in hospitality, I think in any business, you need that wanted one day to be successful, but to get to there, you have to work very hard. And it doesn't come easy, so hard work, I mean, is people, when they think hard work, they think, oh, working 16 hours a day. No, that is not hard work. That is 16 hours. Hard work is when you are committed, when you are consistent on your job, but at the same time, when you are humble, honest, generous, not generous giving away money, but generous with your time, and generous with people, and listening to people, and all those things that we just said. I was told, and we talked earlier on about listening. I was told, even if a guest talk to you for 10 minutes, you have to listen, because listen is very, very important, because you learn ways when you listen and focus on what they say. Because I've been to places where I see people talking to, like, the shopkeeper, but the shopkeeper is not listening.
No.
He's just looking, but he doesn't listen. So if you listen, you have to listen, because you have to be ready for an answer. You have to be ready for a discussion, a small little discussion. Not just listening because with your eye, but listening with your ear and with your brain. So, but you need hard work, committed, and you need a goal. You need a goal, otherwise you never get where you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the goal gives you the direction, and then everything that you've talked about there, it's very much about having the goal, but looking after yourself. So you have the mindset and the abilities to influence and develop
Yeah.
your team. And then I love the ripple. I love that the helping people leave the company, because that's not talked about as much. It's all about how can we train them and keep them. Whereas what you've just explained is this ripple effect. You help them leave, you bring new people in, and then you have this global connection.
That's right. I mean, very often when I ask those people, "Oh, can I see you for 10 minutes?"
Yes.
There is always the fear of a member of the team
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, is he going to tell me off? Is he going to get rid of me?" And after a discussion like that, which is a very much face-to-face discussion,
Yes.
and again, age to age, because you have to understand that when you talk, even if you are like mom, if I talk to a person that is only 25, I have to bring my way of talking like a 25 years old. I'm not going to talk like a, no. If you, so when you talk to them face to face and you tell them that, they appreciate, and usually they live with a big hug.
Yeah.
They live with a big hug, because for them is, they leave and say, "Oh, I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm going
Yes.
to Las Vegas. I'm going to Bangkok,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe I'm going to another hotel in England, but with a better position and something." And they think, "Oh, that manager really thought highly of me. He knows that he cannot promote me in house, but is look for something for me where I can grow." So, yeah.
And it goes from them leaving as a competitor to leaving as a connection, and
Yes.
that's part of.
That's it. You know, it's a connection. Well, you know, connection in business. If we go into business,
Yeah.
connection is so important. Connection is very, very important, because you cannot become like a bear. I'm the, a bear. Oh, what I do is the best. No, you have to connect to people. Even if sometimes it's very hard, because it's very difficult. You know, you have to socialize with people, going out with people, going to meeting and so on and so on. But without connection, you will always be a bear under the ground, and then you reach a point in life, then no one will know you bear under the ground. You need to. And I've noticed, and since I moved on in my business, I learned that. I knew I had to do it. But I always been quite good at that, but even more when it was my business, because connection is what brought me to be as successful as doing very well.
Yeah.
I always say to people, if you go in hospitality, you're not going to be a billionaire, because hospitality won't give you that.
Yeah.
But what hospitality give you, or what retail give you give you also financial reward, because if you do it well, the financial rewards are very good. But what give you that maybe other profession don't is the personal satisfaction of having helped someone, pleased someone, and if you please that person, you please yourself. And those things, sometimes in other profession, don't come to it. Only the financial come to it.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and that's really important. So just to finish, please just tell us how people can contact you. I know you've got your book there and projects that you're on with.
Yeah.
So just share some information on how best people can reach out.
Well, the best way, obviously, I'm known by Diego, because my Diego Masciaga is very difficult, but I do have my own company now.
Yes.
Which is called actually my name, Diego Masciaga Limited. And what we offer all this range of help for businesses.
Yes.
From training to mentoring, lecturing. I'm very lucky. I'm lecturing in university at the moment, but also to make people understand how important is hospitality in all sectors, and not just. So yes, the best way to contact me is via my website, and you can see on the website obviously what we offer as a product. Um, so yes, and then obviously at the moment, what I'm doing at the moment, I got a lot of projects, and as I said earlier on, the project, funnily enough, a few are in the UK because obviously I'm here, but we got quite a lot of projects outside the UK, around the world, from schools to hotels, restaurants, and retail and different businesses, So, but a lot of them are abroad because it seems like then,
Yes.
things go. I've been asked to go abroad, so I enjoy that very much. So, the flying is the flying, but I'm helped. Obviously, I got to show up. I cannot do it by myself. I got 2 legs and 1 head, and I've got my wife Carrie. She's my mentor. I need a mentor, so it's my wife Carrie and my daughter Isabella as well, helping me out because I need some help as well. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Diego.
Sarah. Very kind. Thank you.
You've been listening to The Balancing Act. For mastering work, wealth and well-being, you can head over to the website for further insight, links and resources related to this episode at www.balancing-act.co.uk, and remember to subscribe to catch all the new episodes as they're released.